This is part 2 of the introduction to the 1+3 note system for Gestalt Therapists. The fourth of the overview sheets is about the evaluations. An evaluation is a nice opportunity for the client to speak his or her mind, and a nice opportunity to adjust the course of the therapy if needed. Hamlet is overall satisfied. He likes two-chair work, and he wants to adjust the therapy into more emphasis on how to deal with actual situations from everyday life. Again, a useful reminder prior to a session. The fifth of the overview sheets is about homework. At this point, I have asked Hamlet to observe with whom he feels at ease. In the next session, I learned that he feels at ease with his friend Horatio. To keep track of homework is obviously a useful reminder prior to a session. The sixth of the overview sheets is about resources. From the homework I learned that Hamlet feels at ease with his friend Horatio. He has also made a brief remark about Ophelia as a nice person to be with. When a client is going through hard times like Hamlet, it's obviously good to know about his or her resources. Again, a useful reminder prior to a session. Besides the 6 overview sheets, there's 13 background sheets. I will only show you one of them since the rest is picked depending on the client's situation. This is about the childhood family. Hamlet is the only child. He has a strong bond to his father, who just died. He had a wealthy upbringing in Elsinore in a general atmosphere of formality and good manners. Please notice that I don't write Kronborg Castle or King of Denmark. I try to write as anonymously as possible. Also, I learned in the second session that Hamlet's father is capable of both showing verbal and physical anger, and that Hamlet would adapt to his father and suppress his own anger. I keep track of both the biography and the dominating aspects in the upbringing. To recall the client's childhood history is in so many ways an important tool. Again, a useful reminder prior to a session. You might think that reading all these pages is too much work, but consider the alternative. The overview and background sheets will be a summary of the today's session sheets. That will, in some cases, be a large number of sheets. As the number of sessions increase, it will truly be hard work to read through all of those pages. And in fact, almost impossible to get a useful overview. The overview and background sheets works as a built-in summary, as notes of notes. This will allow the therapist to get a meta overview of the course of the therapy just by a few minutes of reading. This is one of the big benefits of the 1+3 note system for Gestalt Therapists. This is how it works. All the previously mentioned sheet about Hamlet's therapy is collected in one folder. There's one sheet with a code on it. That sheet is the front cover of the folder. There's as many sheets of today's session as you need. There's 6 different overview sheets. There's up till 13 background sheets, depending on the client's situation. This folder will only contain notes about Hamlet's therapy. There will be one folder just like that for each client. Again, the only link between the client's identity and the folder with the notes is the code. In my case, it looks like this. I keep the identity sheets in the white folder to the left and the notes of the therapy in the slim plastic folders to the right. One for each client. Except, over time, the pile of folders will grow into a mess. So I keep my folders in a black box like the one to the right. It's divided into the months of the year. Since the code is the date of the first session, it's real easy to find the right folder. I keep the white folder to the left in one end of my apartment and the black box at the other end. You might think that this is an extreme precaution, but my neighbor experienced a burglar who read through all of his private folders. What if that happened to me? What if it happened to you? And what if the burglar steals all of your notes of actual therapy and posts it on the internet? I think it is a real threat in the digitalized world of today. With this precaution, it will be more difficult for a burglar to figure out how the folders belong together, and that way the client's identity is more protected. Let's have a look at the 1+3 note system in use. Hamlet's 9th session is taking place. A lot of the therapy has been about grief, his father's ghost, and his resentment of his mother's and uncle's marriage. But today Hamlet is talking about Ophelia. He's angry. Based on his background history about adaptation and suppressed anger, one approach could be to support Hamlet to express his authentic feelings. This could be a wonderful opportunity to have a real-life experience of showing anger. This would be everyday Gestalt work. Another approach could be to remember Hamlet's remark about Ophelia as a nice person to be with in the 4th session. And say something like, "Hamlet, I can see how angry you are. A few sessions back, you mentioned Ophelia as somebody nice to be with. What happened?" This might lead Hamlet into an insight about that he despised Ophelia for loving him. In fact, that he despised himself for not taking a stand against his mother and uncle. That he can't contain Ophelia's love and rejects it by showing anger. This would lead the process in a completely different direction. This approach would be based on a remark 5 sessions ago. This might be 5 months ago, and 200 sessions ago seeing other clients. Would you remember by heart? Well, I wouldn't. And this is what the 1+3 note system for Gestalt therapists is all about. With only a few minutes of reading prior to a session, the Gestalt therapist will get the session after session perspective, a meta perspective of the course of the therapy. The Gestalt therapist will get a solid reminder of the client's background history and what has happened during the sessions. This will enable the Gestalt therapist to reply and intervene with a continuing therapeutic strategy rather than simply relying on a skillful here and now approach. The 1+3 note system for Gestalt therapists gives the therapists more choices. The foundation of the sessions remain the phenomenology of the here and now, but with an important add-on. The Gestalt therapist can choose to respond from awareness about the meta perspective. This is a big advantage. In fact, a whole new dimension to the therapy, with benefits for the Gestalt therapist, but indeed also for the client. The therapeutic sessions will have more coherence no matter what the course and character of the therapy. What is explored in one session can more easily be continued at a later time, which will increase the depth of the therapy. The Gestalt therapist will be more at ease due to the solid reminder and consequently have more capacity for contact and interaction. All of this will be a quality gain for the client. The 1+3 note system for Gestalt therapists can be downloaded for free at www.notesystem.eu. The 1+3 note system for Gestalt therapists is written and designed by Stefan Green-Meinel. I am a Danish Gestalt therapist. I have had a private practice since 2000. The upper picture is from my summer vacation in 2010. The below picture is my office in Copenhagen. I'm a member of the European Association for Gestalt Therapy, EAGT. Furthermore, I'm a therapist and a teacher of touching dialogue, which is body-centered psychotherapy. If you have comments or suggestions, please visit www.notesystem.eu. Thank you for listening.